All right, this is Pre-Algebra lesson 6.9, Markup and Discount, a very practical lesson. Here's the deal. Businesses, if you were taking money management, and none of you in here are, you would learn this very quickly, the idea of marking something up. Here's the deal. When a business sells me something, when I go to Safeway and buy a candy bar for 89 cents, how much did they pay for that candy bar?
No, 50 cents.
Right, like 50 cents, right? They're going to have paid, 25 cents or 40 cents to be selling it to me for 89 cents, right? Because if they buy it for 89 cents, would they sell it to me for 89 cents? No, why not? Why would they not do that?
Because there would be no profit.
There would be no profit. I mean, they would have gained nothing, right? If they bought it for 80 cents, would they sell it to me for 89 cents? Maybe. It just depends on, it just depends, like something like televisions. Televisions have a very low markup, meaning that the people who sell TVs, they'll buy it for $1,000 and sell it for $1,100. They're going to make $100 profit on the television. So just a really small markup, percentage-wise. Where something like potatoes, I bet they buy potatoes for 15 cents a pound, and they'll sell it for $1 a pound, which is like 7 times as much as they paid for it. Does that make sense? They'll all have their different reasons why they do it, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Either way, a store has to mark things up in order to what? In order to make a profit, in order to actually make money, right? In order to actually make money. When you're in when you're in money management and you buy, the people who sell stuff to the kids, you guys, they buy something from me for $3. If they sell it to you for $3, they made no money, right? Even though it seems like they made money, it seems like they made $3, right? I mean, they collect $3, but they forget that they paid $3 for it. So then, that's a lesson that some people have to learn very quickly. And you have bills. You have things you have to pay. You have to pay your employees. You have to pay your insurance. You have to pay for the electricity. You have to pay for, the truck drivers to come by. You got all sorts of things to pay for that you have to make a lot of profit to be able to pay all these people before even then the owner gets paid. Does that make sense? Anyway, so here's how it works. Here's how markup works. You take the... it's no different than exchange over the original, but here's the deal. So here, if a store marks things up 60%, okay, if there's a 60% markup, here's how you do it. If they bought something for $50, if that's how much they paid for it, and you're going to mark it up 60%, here's what they do. You take 50, the original amount, and you multiply it by the percent. You multiply it by the percent. What is 50 times 0.6? Anybody know? 50 times 0.6. It ends up being 30. So here's the deal. That equals 30. 30 what? $30, right? It's $30. What is $30 then? What is that? Is that how much they're going to sell it for? No. What is $30?
The markup?
It's the markup, right? So then how much would they sell it for? $80. Does that make sense? You would add the markup to the original amount, and that's how much they would sell it for. Now, here's the thing. You have to understand what the question is asking you for. If they're asking you for how much is the markup, what's the answer? $30. If they say how much are they selling it for, what's the answer? $80. You have to understand what they're asking you for. Okay? Let's try one here. They're doing this here. They're saying... If they're a CD store, they buy their CDs for $10.15, and they mark up 67%. Okay, use your calculators to find me. How much do they sell it for? So here's how you set it up. It's very important. You take the original amount, $10.15, and you multiply that by the percent of markup. What's the percent of markup? 67%. How do I write that as a decimal? If I'm going to use a calculator, how do I write 67%? 0.67, right? 0.67. What does that come out to? What is the markup on this? What is 10.15 times 0.67? What is it?
It was like a crazy.
What is it?
Here. 10.
What is it?
6.8005.
6.8005. So here's the deal. This is what is this number here supposed to be? Dollars, right? This is dollars. So we're obviously going to want to round this to the nearest penny. Agreed? Where is the pennies placed then?
Hundreds.
Right? Isn't that the pennies place? This would be the dimes place. So he looks over here to the zero and goes, oh, he stays the same. So then the markup would be $6.80. That's the markup, right? How much would they sell it to us for? What do I do with that number?
Add it to the 10.
Add it to how much they paid for it. So the answer comes out to, $16.95. That's how much they, and that actually looks about like what a CD would cost, right? $16.95. You could see that in the store. Okay, you guys try one. Try a $5 cap. So the store pays $5 for it, and they mark it up 70%. I want to know both the markup and how much they sell it for. Label them both. Anyway, here we go. So you take the original amount and you multiply it by the percent markup, which is 0.7. What is 5 times 0.7? 3.5. What does that mean when you see it on your calculator? 3.5 is $3.50, right? $3.50. What is $3.50? That's the markup, right? So the markup is $3.50. Got to put, if you don't put the dollar sign on things with money, I'm marking it wrong. What is the sale price then? $8.50. You guys get that concept? Yes? Okay. Here's the deal. Now we have another type of problem, and this is a discount. You ever been to a store and they say, 20% off everything, or, 40% off everything? Here's how that works. It's the exact same way. It's just dealing with it being subtracted from the original price, right? Not the original price, but how much they would normally sell it for. If they say this normally sells for $80, if an item normally sells for $80 and it's 30% off, right? They have a big, huge, whoa, 30% off sale, right? 30% off. How much is the item now? Okay, here's what you do. You take the original amount, $80 is how much they were going to sell it for, and you multiply it times the percent that it's off, 0.3. $80 times 0.3 comes out to $24. What is $24? $24 off. That's how much it is off. Right? So then if I was to say, how much is it off? You'd say it's $24 off. You go, well, how much is the sale price now? How much does it cost now?
56.
You'd have to subtract 24 from 80, which is $56. Does that make sense? That's how you do a discount. You guys try one. Let's say that we'll do the one they have here. The sale is normally $85.99. Good thing I'm letting you use a calculator, right? And there is a 20% off. You have a coupon for 20% off. I want to know how much is it off, and how much does the item cost now? Okay, both makes this kind of easy. Okay, so here's the deal. You take the original amount, $85.99, and you multiply it by the percent discount, which is 0.2. Right, that's the thing. A lot of you, if you can't turn 20% into 0.2, then you've got a problem. Right? And that equals, what does that come out to? What is 85.99 times 0.2? 17.19? 17.18. What does 17.18 mean? Oh, what's 17.198? Okay. What does that even mean? What does it mean? It means something. What is that? What does it mean?
It means that you're going to round the 19 to 20.
What is this number here? Is it like how many marbles there are on the floor in the store? I want to know what it is.
How much is it off?
It's how much off, right? So it's a discount, which it's money, right? It's money. So we have to turn this into making it look a lot more like money. Do you agree that doesn't look like money right now? So we need to round this to the nearest penny. Where are the pennies? What's the number that's in the pennies place?
9.
The 9, right? So the 9 looks to the 8. Ooh, the 9 goes up. Instead of 17.19, it goes to 17.20, right? Does that make sense? So it's 17.20 off. That's the discount. How much is the item now? Well, what do I do with that? You go, right, 85.99 minus 17.20. What is that? 79.68.79 is how much it costs now. So the discount is 17.20. You got to know the difference, because on the test they'll ask you that and they'll trick you. They'll give you both, and you got to know which. When they give you multiple choice, they'll give you both of them, and you'll recognize them both, and you go yes, and then half you'll get it wrong because you aren't paying attention to what they're asking for. Okay, there's really that's kind of it. I'll show you something else. I'm going to show you another method to use to do that exact same thing. So pay attention. Okay, here's the deal. With that $85.99, there's another way to do a discount. Okay, another way to do a discount. If it was 20% off, here's something else. What if I was to go like this? What if I was to take $85.99 and multiply it by 100%? What is 100%?
Doubling it.
No, what is 100%? If I multiply it by 100%, what is 100% as a decimal? What is 100% as a decimal? It's 1. So if I took $85.99 and multiplied it by 100%, what would happen to $85.99? It would be nothing. It would stay the same, right? Multiplying anything by 100% is multiplying it by 1. Right? Does that make sense? Because look, 100%, how do I write that as a fraction?
1 over 1.
It would be 100 over 100, right? Does that make sense? And anytime you say percent, it's that number over 100. So 100% is 100 over 100, which is 1. Make sense? Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to show you another method to do if you wanted. If $85.99 times 100% is still $85.99, how much off am I getting? 20% off, right? So then if it was 100% and I subtracted 20%, that leaves me with 80%, right? Does that make sense? That means that this thing, the new price, is 80% of what it used to be. If it was 100% of what it used to be, it would stay the same. If it's 80% of what it used to be, so let's do this. What is 85.99 times 0.8? Type that in the calculator for me. What is 85.99 times 0.8?
68.792.
Oh, it's still 68.70, right? The same answer you got before. It's just a different way of doing it. Okay, I'll show you something else. Maybe this will help. Remember when we had the $5 deal and it was marked up, was it 70%?
Yeah.
70% markup. Here's the deal. Hold on. What if I took $5 and multiplied that by 100%? What's that going to do to $5?
5.
Still $5. Does that make sense? If I multiply it by 100%. If I want to add 70% to that, I'm going to multiply it not by 100%, but by 170%. What is 5 times 1.7?
8.5.
$8.50, which is what we got. Do you remember? So it's just another way of doing it if you want. You don't have to.
That one seems quicker.
This way is way easier if you understand the concept. It's one less step. You don't have to do the adding and subtracting at the end.
Will they ever do 100% off of 5?
Well, what would be 100% off of 5? Free, right?
Will they do that?
So here's something else that's a trick. I'll just show you one quick thing here that stores do to trick people. Ready? Is what if a store said there was a $100 item? Okay, there's a $100 item, and so pay attention, Lauren. If a store said that there was a $100 item, and they say, okay, everything in the store is 50% off. Okay, everything in the store is 50% off, so everything is 50% off. And then some items have an additional 50% off. Some items have an additional 50% off. So some items have also 50% off on them. What does it make you think how much it costs? It makes you think that it's free, right? Because you go 50% plus 50% is 100% off. Does that make sense? It looks like it would be free. What actually happens here is, what is 50% off of 100? 50,
25.
right? And then they take 50% off that, and it's 25. Does that make sense? So they kind of trick you into thinking that it's going to be free, when actually it's only 75%. Still a great deal, right? But it's not free.
Nothing's.
Does that make sense? Okay, it's just something that stores do to trick you. You know, especially when they go like this, if there's a $100 item, and they go, you know, everything in the store is, 30% off, and then take an additional 20% off, and you go, oh my goodness, that's half off? Well, let's see if that's true. 30% off of 100 would make the item, how much?
$33.
No, 30% off 100 is $70. That's how much the new item is, $70. And then 20% off of 70 is 14, which makes it 56. So it actually isn't 50%, even though it looks like, I mean, that totally looks like 50%, right? 30% off, then 20. It's nowhere near that. It's 44% off, right? So anyway, it's just little tricks they do to try to get people to come into their store,
And then tax.
and then tax and everything, right? But the tax goes to the government. It doesn't go to them, right? Anyway, okay, very good. Let me give you your homework. Make sure you pay attention to what they're asking for, right? What they're asking for. Today is that, so it is page 331, 1 through 20 even. Okay.